Greetings and salutations. I'm America's R&B historian, Tyrone Dubois. And my friends, you're watching the one, the only, The Cindy Davis Show.
I'm Cindy Davis Evans of The Cindy Davis Show, and joining me today is my guest, David Quinn of TV1's hit TV series, ATL Homicide. How are you, David?
I'm awesome. Thank you for having me, Cindy.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you. How are you doing these days throughout the pandemic?
And I'm glad to be here. I mean, I actually had to beat COVID in the hospital for 5 days, so I'm one of the survivors. Oh yeah, it snuck up on a brother, but you know, God was good as usual.
That's
and
right.
I pulled on through. Surprised me too. I didn't see it coming, but you know. Hats off to the medical professionals across America. They saved my life.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Well, I'm celebrating that I made it out of 2022, as well. So
it's for real, my sister.
Yeah. Tell me about the premise of the TV show.
Wow. So we're in our third season, Cindy. And the premise is, these are the words of my partner, Vince Velazquez, and myself. We literally are the narrators and the hosts of this show that comes on every Monday at 9/8 Central on TV1. These are our diaries of our career together since the year 2000 in the Atlanta Homicide Unit.
Yeah. How did it come about, though? Tell me the story behind how you were able to get your idea to TV1.
So after 30 years of being the police, 19 of which we worked together right in the homicide unit, right around retirement, an old producer friend of ours from some other production we'd been on America's Most Wanted back in the early 2000s, different media outlets, had an idea. It wasn't our idea, but this producer, this friend of ours named Angeline Hartman, she was a local Fox News affiliate here, she had the idea, and she went to America's Most Wanted, and it sprung from there. TV1 got to look at us being who we are together, me and my partner. They liked the chemistry because we're so different. I mean, I'm kind of all over the place. Vince is like a mad scientist. He's got the lab coat. I'm the joker in the corner, with the people in the streets. I mean, so it was a perfect marriage, the two brothers, to just come and bring truth to the screen from Black and brown folks.
How did you two meet?
So I met Vince. We both were made detectives in the year 2000. And for some reason, new detectives, they sent us straight to the homicide unit.
Yeah.
I seen him around the department. Yeah.
Straight to the homicide.
Right. I mean, you gave us the gold badge one night. The next morning, we were in homicide with all these old, gristled detectives, been working there for years. Here come this Black guy and this Puerto Rican brother. And we took over the office like we've been there for 20 years. I mean, because we knew the streets and we were just amped and excited to serve our community. And I'm telling you, we actually went out there like we've been working there forever. Didn't know everything. But we knew the people, we knew our brothers and sisters in the street.
Yeah.
And that was our hook.
Well, you know what? That must have been your calling all along. What did you do before you were on police force?
I graduated from high school in 1983.
Mm-hmm.
In 1985, at the tender age of 20, I joined the Atlanta Police Department.
Oh, you went straight out of high school.
Straight out of high school.
Oh,
back in those days, you could do that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I grew up on the streets of Atlanta from age 20.
Yeah.
All my formative years spent out there in the street, mingling with my people. And it was beautiful. I couldn't have imagined my life any other course, any other way.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you see where that whole thing has led to. Yeah. So let me ask you, why did you retire?
Why did I?
Uh-huh.
So much had been seen by both me and Vince.
Yes. I can
Retirement for the city of Atlanta is 30 years. You
yeah.
do 30 years and you get a pension till you die.
Yeah.
So you're really working for free if you stay beyond 30. I
Yeah.
still I still stayed 3 extra years because I loved my unit and they
Oh,
paid me under contract to kind of cultivate and shepherd some of the younger detectives through the process. So I hung out, but in those 3 years, we were doing ATL Homicide. So that's been my
awesome.
labor of love in retirement.
What excites you about doing this show?
What excites me about this show is that TV One allowed me and my partner Vince to be
Yeah.
ourselves on screen.
Yeah.
You know, TV One really had the vision because you can have an idea, but
Hmm.
TV One had the vision. They wanted these two black and brown brothers to just be themselves on screen,
Yeah.
something that never been seen before. A Puerto
Hmm.
Rican and a black man talking about crime when crime happens to most Puerto Ricans and blacks.
Wow.
So we were the first partner true crime
Mhm.
series ever.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite. But we get to be ourselves
Yeah.
every Monday.
You made history. You know, I like the concept of the show because it's based on real crime cases. How do you choose the cases to be aired? You know, the stories that you want to tell.
Well, it's a collaboration, but ultimately the stories, our executive producer will take the list of, we have a catalog of cases,
Yeah.
hundreds of cases over the years we've worked, either
Mhm.
helping people or directly were assigned to us. So they take and pick from those cases, the ones that have the more twists and turns. I mean,
Mhm.
just keeping it real. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the cases, every now and then, you're going to have a case where it's solved right on scene. That doesn't make good television.
Right.
We really want to show the process. We want to show
Mhm.
the community involvement because we prided ourselves on involving the community in the hunt. It's their neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's their family member that was killed, and we
Mhm.
always use them as we didn't shield them for what was going on. And, last episode from Monday was we had a surviving son of one of our victims go undercover wearing a wire. So
Wow.
everybody's a
Wow.
detective,
Yeah.
and that was unique in that I haven't heard any other police departments using families to go in and get confessions from other family members. And we did.
Wow. That's kind of that's kind of unorthodox.
Yeah, it was a really bad family secret that we had to get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Um, what what um what kind of unorthodox methods did you use to solve crimes?
The main thing we did, the fact that we came in the year 2000, we
Mhm.
were there when the digital video and audio age showed up. So
Mhm.
what we would do, instead of like working in the office, we
Mhm.
would mic up every day, put digital recorders in our pockets, and go out and get the information in the street. We didn't drag people back to the office. So we've got digital audio of
Mhm.
everything we did. So sometimes that's not good because people will say things you have to overcome. Like, they'll give you the name of someone else that did it, and then you got to go search and find out if that was true. So we worked without a net, which is very unorthodox. We were taught to keep it straight, keep it down
Yeah.
the line, don't confuse the juries. But
Yeah.
we want to tell an unvarnished, unscathed, truthful story. So you work without
Yeah.
a net.
Wow. Wow. How many cases the murderer was never caught?
Those are the ones that keep you up at night.
Oh, yeah.
Every detective, if he's worked homicide, he's going to have a handful of those.
Mhm.
Because, homicide investigation is luck and God. And those two forces have to be together. Me and Vin, our success rate in terms of clearance was in the high 90s. I mean, we
Mhm.
cleared a
Wow.
lot of cases, but
Yeah.
you don't want to leave anything behind, but if you stay there long enough, you're going to leave cases unsolved. And we both left a handful of them. And we still, Vince, my partner, still is in contact with, the mother of a 15-year-old girl killed in the 90s. She probably calls him every week because those are the kind of relationships we've established. And they sometimes they fight like family together, because they're both carrying this. She's carrying it because she was the mother. Vince has the ultimate responsibility to clearing the case. So he's going to go back to work if the killer is ever caught through a DNA sample we've been waiting on for over 20 some years. And those cases are personal. I mean, you want to know. The curiosity that's in you makes you always wonder.
Did you ever feel a guiding hand that was helping you solve some of these crimes?
Absolutely. And if you watch this show, you'll see God on set while the camera's rolling, because so many things happen where you're like, I didn't plan that. And you only can guess that because God, I guess, is feeling your effort, gives you a nudge every now and then. And you've got to have that. We're not that smart. You just have to be curious. You got to put yourself in the right positions and keep your passion always on.
Yeah. What is there a particular case that really shook you to the core that you can name one or two or more?
I'll name two. Okay. So towards the middle of my time spent in Homicide, there was a 15-year-old boy that had been missing for 10 years. And one day a surveyor found his skull, and it was a golf ball size hole in the skull of this skeleton. There are no clues there. I mean, this was a skull, and it wasn't even much of a body left. To make a long story short, we were able to solve that case. The grandmother that had been anguished for over a decade was able to have, her grandson's funeral, and that case was so special to me. When I retired, I tattooed that skull to my right shoulder, because I wanted to remember the pain of the families. The other case and so I have that little boy on my shoulder. I mean, they say he was a little drug dealer, but he still had somebody that loved him. So that, to me, I wanted to carry that pain into retirement so I wouldn't forget. The other case, which stuck with me, was my last case I made as a detective. And that was a serial killer that killed homeless people. Just went around, up until that point, my career was about cases involving people robbing, cases where there were crimes of passion, cases where people accidentally killed people while committing other crimes. This was a brother out stalking the homeless and executing them for nothing, just for the satisfaction. And the confession with him lasted 5.5 hours for him to give up those 4 murders that he did. It shook me to the core. And we covered that particular case on our show in season 2.
Oh my goodness. Someone made a statement. I'm not sure if it was yourself or Quinn, or Vincent, said the dead can't speak for themselves. You have to become their voice and find justice.
That was Vince. That sounds just like him, and that's the truth. And so we were always out there on the grind. We rarely spent time in the office. We were rolling around in that city-issued unmarked car. Sometimes we'd be in the neighborhood working one case and another would happen around the corner. And that's who you get to respect. If you're in the neighborhood, not just when someone drops dead to a fatal bullet or some other cause of death, but you're there and the community respects you. It's all about service. And I want to see that come back with police departments across the country.
Yeah. I want to go back a little bit here. I want to ask you, how can you tell if a witness is lying to you? Is there any body language?
I've come across some of the best liars ever delivered to earth. So you never know. Most people, they fold up their arms. Usually, they're lying. I mean, That's what everyone does. Kids do it. Husbands, caught in the wrong do it because it's a defense mechanism. Other than that, some people have well rehearsed what they came down to Homicide to tell you. So, some people are really cold and you just have to stay at it and give them a way out. We were very successful in getting confessions over the years. We taught classes on it, but you have to really watch these long interviews to understand that it's not something you can just teach on paper. It's a craft that you come up with. I don't think there's an actual class for it. You have to just be dyed in the wool out there in the street and be part of it so you can get those answers and get people to tell you, what they did. And sometimes we're there crying with these people because, homicide is nobody wins. We're not high five. You never see us high fiving and being all happy that a person is going off to prison for life.
Yeah.
It's a tragic situations. Both families are losing.
Yeah.
So we always kept that in mind when we work these cases.
I can't even. Yeah. That's
pulls at your heartstrings, and that's why you have to have a beginning of your career in the homicide work, and you got to know when it's the ending. I knew after 33 years I couldn't do another scene. I remember the last scene I was on, and I said, "This is it," because my contract was for 4 years after I retired from the 30. So 33 years and 6 months, I went to a scene. I said, "Okay, I'm done. I'm checking out. I'm not going to fulfill the rest of this contract because the mic had dropped and I knew I had to go."
What advice did you give the actor?
Oh, wow. That's,
The actor that plays you.
We love both of them. The guy that plays me, his name is Angelo Diaz. Angelo actually moved to Atlanta when he got the job. So once he got the role, we started hanging out. I would leave work early and we'd go have some cocktails or some early dinner. Yeah. And, I could tell little brother, he was trying to feel me. I mean, he was younger than my oldest son. I mean, he was 29 years old at the time. And I could see him, trying to draw from me in these different exchanges, and we used to hook up. In the 3 years that he's played me, I mean, he has embodied who I am. I think he's done an awesome job.
Yes,
and so has his partner, Christopher Diaz, no relation. They're just both two Cuban brothers.
Yeah.
He embodied Vince, and they got better every year. So we're really proud of those two guys.
Wow. You've had an escalation of female viewers for the show. Do you know why that is?
I don't know. I mean, we love the sisters and we honor them. We honor them. And, women, those are your truth serum. I mean, they keep you honest. I mean, I've been married 30 years to a sister. I mean, it's not a whole lot I can get away with around here, and you honor the people that bring life. Women, I've always had best friend. My best friend is a woman, not my wife, but I have a best friend who I've been around for 35 years. And to me, they just keep things equal. Yeah. And we're glad they're watching the show.
So in this third season of ATL Homicide, what can viewers expect?
Wow. I mean, you're gonna have a range of emotions.
Oh, yeah.
Just even with this last episode that aired on Monday night, you had a father that was killed when a little boy was 8 years old. That little boy grew up to be a man and came to me and Vince. He himself, a police officer from a neighboring jurisdiction down here in the dirty. He wanted to participate in his own father's investigation because it was an unsolved murder from 27 years ago when he was a little boy. Wow. And, like I told you, we mic'd him up and put him to work. He got two confessions from two family members. And we were like in the van, like on TV, with the earphones on, like letting him do his thing. We set it up and we used him. That's very unorthodox. So I think the viewers will love when they watch that, when they go back into the catalog and watch it on demand. The episode that airs this Monday night, it takes us to the crown jewel of Black college excellence down at Spelman College. Unfortunately, we have a victim who came to college here in our great city, and she was killed. A sister thriving at Spelman College. She was killed on Clark Atlanta University, the neighboring college right there in the AU Center. That's an interesting story. I mean, because we don't get violence over there. Like I said, that's our crown jewel of higher learning, the whole compound with the different colleges. So you'll get to see the range of emotions we go through trying to solve that case.
Well, can you give us any advice as we go about our daily lives, safety tips, what to look out for, and how to stay out of trouble?
Well, I would say don't be a victim. Do your best to keep your head on a swivel. In these challenging times, we have to live our lives. I mean, I'm not telling anybody to overreact, but you have to be aware. I mean, a lot of things are going on. The stuff that happened January 6th, at the Capitol, we don't know what's going on in America right now. So we have to have a global neighborhood watch to keep our Black and brown communities sound. Yeah. And so I would urge people, don't get your gas at night. Get it during the day as early as possible with the most hustle and bustle. Get your like I'm about to go on my walk in another 20 minutes. Get your power walking in the daylight hours when there are crowds. I hate to see young ladies out on the trail if I get out there late and it's just us up in the woods. That's just not safe. You never know. I mean, so I just want people this is a difficult time we're going through, and people are going to be going back out soon because the virus is getting fought right now. So they're going to be getting undressed and headed back out. And we just want to stay aware. Always stay aware. Always
stay aware. Here in Texas, the governor mandated that we don't have to wear masks. But you know what? He said, just throw the mask away. You don't even need them. I'm like, what? Not me. I'm wearing my mask.
I wear it too because, I already had it. I know where this thing can go.
Yeah.
It's a serious disease, and you have to be serious with it. This virus is not playing.
No, it's not.
When you can't breathe, which is, I had an elephant on my chest for 5 days. That is it's an amazing feeling. So I don't take it lightly. And we got to protect ourselves until we're out of the woods with this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
While the governor tell everybody to take off the mask, look who's dying. The Black and brown folks are the ones dying.
That's right.
The white folks are getting better treatment. They're getting earlier treatment, earlier diagnoses. And, we got to listen to our hearts and, again, have our global watch for our communities because we don't want to fall prey to that virus. It's taken out too many of us.
Absolutely. Listen, I've really enjoyed our time together. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we look forward to seeing you in this upcoming 3rd season of ATL Homicide.
Thank you, Cindy, for having me. I really enjoyed it.
A pleasure. God bless you. And thank you for tuning into the Cindy Davis Show. Until next time, God bless.